Hello and welcome to Stupid Ancient History with Midgley
and Taylor and our expert, non-expert and special guest James, the science toolboy.
Hello.
As always, we're wearing togas, it's a hot sweaty day, the people are still pressure washing outside, and today we're looking at the madness of Cambyses.
What? It seems to...
Yeah, he started off well, James, it doesn't end well, sorry.
I was liking him.
So, last time, in fairness, we've been looking at some of the numerous achievements of Cambyses II, son of Cyrus.
And it's fair to say that he was doing pretty well. So he'd built or acquired a brand new navy.
Which Cyrus the Great had forgotten to do.
Yeah, okay. Cyrus the Great, not a Cyrus the Infallible. He's got to have some kinks in his armour, hasn't he?
This is true. And Cambyses also managed to conquer Egypt by building a pipeline across the desert.
And don't forget using cats as a weapon at Pelusium.
Yeah, but how could you forget the battle animals that keep rolling out?
Which do you prefer, James? Combat cats or battle camels?
I think battle camels, just because it sounds better.
It does sound better.
And also the camels seem to have a better time than being
gaffer taped to something.
attached to shields and horses.
Imagine the noise that the cats would have made as well.
The smell.
They would have weed on you as you were holding them.
I mean, at least I assume they're on the far side of the shield, so that probably isn't. Just put one on the inside, this mental cat clawing your face.
Oh, so animal cruelty aside, all in all, so far it's gone pretty well for Cambyses.
So I'm calling it the madness of Cambyses. Everything seems to be going quite well up to this point.
Well, unfortunately, once Cambyses takes Egypt, it all starts to fall apart. So having taken Memphis, Pelusium and the main trade routes in the east, Cambyses plans an expedition to the west, firstly to the oasis at Siwa, and then allegedly onto Carthage.
So what happens? What happens that makes it go that wrong that he goes mad?
Well, it doesn't help that he loses 50,000 men in the desert.
Like, actually they get lost or they just die of, like, dehydration.
They hide behind a sand dune and no one can find them.
They get lost. They disappear into the desert.
Like, actually never to be heard of again.
Never to be seen again.
It happens, it's the,
Well, didn't that happen at Gallipoli in the First World War?
That wasn't in the desert.
Was it not?
No.
But there is troops going missing throughout history. That has happened, hasn't it?
50,000, that's a lot of people.
Well, yeah, it is a lot of people.
It's the Sahara, I'm guessing it's the shift in sand, and
the
Egyptians weren't too keen on guiding this hostile army to one of their sacred sites. Went, yeah, no, it's over there, lads. Just keep going until you see it.
Right, okay. So you lost 50,000 troops.
Yep. Not great. But that's not all.
He doesn't lose any of his battle camels as well, does he?
We don't know about that. We're then told that he then plans a campaign further south down the Nile to Sudan and Ethiopia. But rather than previous attempts, he doesn't bother with the whole cow pipe skin supply line. He doesn't plan his supply routes.
If he's following the Nile, surely he's got access to water.
You'd think.
But according to the sources, when the men ran out of food, they began to actually eat the baggage animals, so the mules and the camels, and camel steak, yum yum.
I'd try it, I'm not going to lie.
Well, I think if you were starving you would,
yeah.
Let's face it, you're going to eat anything. But it kind of gets worse, because what you're going to eat when you run out of baggage camels and other animals?
Go hunting?
No, you're going to eat the fatty in the corner. So what they start doing then is they actually start eating each other. So they turn to cannibalism.
How is he so bad at this all of a sudden?
Because he's mad.
Well, I know, but I assume this is going to be like a slow descent into madness, not
You can
just...
imagine him just sitting there, can't you? Like, oh no, the last camel's gone. Which one's next?
Brian, come over here.
Right, so this is taking a bit of a turn for the worse for him.
It's gone
if you're the one that's being eaten, definitely.
Successful military campaign to mass cannibalism.
Is he part of this campaign? Is he leading them, or is he just like go down there?
He's leading them.
So when they were, let's say, halfway through eating their camels and horses, you don't think, We may need to turn around there.
Well, do you make it back, or some of them?
Not many.
So yeah, at some point you just go, don't think this is going too well. Stop eating pride, let's turn around and go back.
I mean, they know rivers have fish in them, right?
Apparently not.
Yeah, but when you can eat Steve, why would you want to fish? So it actually goes even worse.
It gets worse than cannibalism.
It gets worse from there, yes.
Wow.
So when Cambyses comes back from this less than successful expedition / culinary trip, he returns to Memphis to find everyone having a massive party.
Alright, fair enough.
So the party's to celebrate the arrival of the Apis bull.
I don't know what that is.
So the Apis bull, or Apis bull, however you want to pronounce it, is a sacred cow.
Okay.
It's meant to be the god Apis come down to earth in cow form, as you do. And it's
Is this an Egyptian god?
It's an Egyptian god.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And it's identifiable by a white diamond on its forehead.
Okay.
So if you see a cow with a white diamond, don't kick it, it's an Egyptian god.
Alright.
So
I
anyway,
mean, I don't often go around kicking cows. I think that needs to be stated.
again, yeah, we should, for the record, James does not kick cows. Helen's grinning
No cow
maniacally.
tipping. No cow tipping in your time,
They don't
James.
actually sleep standing up. That's not true.
Did they not?
They don't.
No.
Well, that spoiled that one. So Cambyses comes back to Memphis. They're all celebrating the sacred cow, and he doesn't really take well to this. Not knowing about the Apis bull, he turns up and thinks all the Egyptians are celebrating his failure.
Oh right, I thought he was going to think it was a homecoming. Like, yeah, he's back.
It's like, no, we've been eating Steve.
So just so I've got this right, after a couple months of having a pretty rotten time eating all his mates,
Yep.
he's come back and he thinks this city's having a party about his awful time.
Yep.
Yeah. And the best person to find out about this is obviously Herodotus.
This is, I'm really
Yes.
looking forward to this one.
It tells us what happens. So Herodotus says the priest brought the animal, and Cambyses, half mad as he was, drew his dagger, aimed a blow at Apis bull's belly, but missed and struck his thigh. Then he laughed and said to the priest, "Do you call that a god, you poor creatures? Are your gods flesh and blood? Do they feel the prick of steel? No doubt a god like that is good enough for the Egyptians, but you won't get away with trying to make a fool of me."
Right, so he's really just rubbing salt in the wound here, isn't he?
And knives in the cow.
I mean, to be fair, you said he aimed for the belly and missed.
Yeah.
Cows are pretty big. Their stomachs are massive. How
I
do you
know,
miss?
but aren't you supposed? I obviously don't know a lot about this because I'm not a cannibal myself. But isn't eating other people supposed to send you a little bit mad?
I think the madness comes before eating people.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to like mess with your brain.
You know what?
Very strange.
Chicken and the egg. Which comes first? Who knows?
So maybe he's just started to go a bit doolally.
So
Heat stroke, starvation. Side effects of
he
cannibalism.
knifes their god.
He knives their god.
So this is very different from Cyrus, because you said he was quite respectful of everyone's other religions and
Cambyses comes along. Is that your god? Yep, stab.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But there's more.
There is.
Of course there is.
So it says he then ordered the priest to be whipped by the men whose business it was to carry out such punishments, and any Egyptian who was found still keeping holiday to be put to death. In this way the festival was broken up and the priest punished.
So we had everyone flogged, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had everybody whipped, and then if you were still out and about enjoying the party celebrations, you were killed.
How
That's lockdown. That's all I'm saying, isn't it?
how important in like a festival is this for the Egyptians? Like breaking it up, how much of a taboo is that for them?
It's pretty bad. I mean, they like a good festival.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, that's one way to end a party.
It is.
Never mind turning the lights on and off and shouting, "Go home now." Stop whipping people.
Knifing the god and whipping the priest.
Yeah, that'll put a sour note on the party.
I'll bear that in mind for when my son starts having his very secret parties at
Oh
home.
my god!
Just stab a cow in the living room and start whipping people. Again, people for the RSPCA, Helen is not actually thinking of doing this. And if she is, it's a few years, so we'll hopefully have distanced ourselves from it by then.
So yeah, he's got a little bit off the deep end there, isn't he?
Oh no, that's just the start.
This is the shallow end.
This is the shallow end.
What?
Are you ready with Herodotus?
Yes. So Herodotus says, even before this, Cambyses had been far from sound in his mind.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even Herodotus thinks he's a nut job. But the Egyptians are convinced that the complete loss of his reason was the direct result of this crime.
And yeah, I mean, don't forget, he's got reason to be slightly annoyed and ill-tempered. I mean, there's the whole deal with the switcheroo with the daughter.
I mean, to be fair, that got resolved pretty quickly when she grasped them up.
Yeah. But there is now more.
Yeah.
Of course.
So it says, oh, sorry, just need to go back. Bear with me one moment.
You can enjoy the sound of the pressure
Yeah,
washer.
sorry. So it says Cambyses now left Memphis and went on to, is it Sais, fully resolved on what he would do when he got there. This intention he at once carried out. No sooner had he entered the palace of Amasis than he gave orders for his body to be taken from the tomb where it lay. This done, he proceeded to have it treated with every possible indignity, such as lashing with whips, pricking with goads, and the plucking of its hairs. All this was done till the executioners were weary, and at last, as the corpse had been embalmed and would not fall to pieces under the blows, Cambyses ordered it to be burnt.
So I'm sorry, they desecrated a corpse to the point where they were knackered from it.
Yeah. Even if you're dead, you're not safe from Cambyses.
Oh my god! So that was the pharaoh who tried to do the daughter swap. So he's dug him up, battered his body,
Plucked his hair out.
plucked hairs out. That seemed
bald in the
that seemed a
afterlife.
little bit weird. Like, why?
Madness.
Well, yeah, but
It's kind of the ultimate sign of a lack of respect, isn't it? But taken to the extreme.
so but he's still doing all this stuff while hanging about in Egypt. Does
Yeah.
he not think people get angry at stuff like this?
I don't think he really cares
Yeah, I was going to
anymore.
say he probably just doesn't care.
Well, he's not really.
He seems quite delusional, doesn't he? Like he's just really removed from what everyone thinks.
You said he took this like Egyptian beggar / former noble as advisor. Does no one tell him maybe this isn't a great idea, or did he get eaten on the road?
Well,
say,
you
would
could be
you?
an advisor. Oh, sorry, did I say advisor? I meant entree.
So he's got no one telling him to stop stabbing gods, desecrating corpses.
There is one guy, but we'll get to him.
Right, okay. So he's not having the best time at the moment, or no one around him's having a particularly good time, are they?
Strap yourself in, James.
Can't get worse than this.
So do you remember his brother, Smerdis, or Bardia?
Yes.
Yeah, so he has him murdered because he's better at archery than Cambyses.
Is he not safe in the east, well away from him?
Not anymore.
No one's safe.
He's dead. Oh, and he has a dream about him.
Oh, of course. Oh, good. We've been had a dream for a while.
No.
Is Cambyses famed as an archer?
Persians like to think of themselves as great archers. That's
Right,
kind of
okay.
their weapon.
Oh, okay.
So to have a younger brother who's better at it than you, he doesn't last long.
Okay.
But then there's more.
So Herodotus says the next crime Cambyses committed was the murder of his sister, who had come with him to Egypt. This woman was his sister by both parents and also his wife.
Wait, what?
So just like when we were doing about Egypt,
Yeah.
Sister wife.
yeah, sister
we're
wife.
back
So he's
to
married
incest,
to his
right.
sibling. Yeah, there's incest going on.
Did the Persians partake in that as well?
Well, I mean, cannibalism, incest, desecration of a corpse, animal
It's a hat trick,
cruelty.
really, isn't it?
So yeah, he marries
Why
his
not?
sister and then murders her.
Do we know why? What's she done?
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Oh my
So
God.
it says Cambyses accordingly married the sister he was in love with, and not long afterwards married another one as well. And this, the younger of the two, was the one who went with him to Egypt.
So he married his sister, murdered her, married another sister.
Yep.
It's very Cleopatra-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
It gets worse as well because then with this sister he puts her to death after a bit of kind of prophetic bit of animal cruelty, making puppies fight with lion cubs, which she
my
doesn't
God.
like.
I'm not surprised.
This whole spectacle reminds his new sister wife of the dead brother that's not around. So he takes it that she is also plotting to overthrow him, so she dies.
Right, okay. Does he have any siblings left at this point?
If he does,
they should be running away. If I was
run and hide, siblings, run and hide. But obviously, the incesty bit, that's the Greek version of events. They're all about family feuds.
Okay.
Their entire religion is based on it.
Fair enough, yeah.
The Egyptians have a slightly different version.
So it says the Egyptians, on the other hand, say that the two were sitting at table when the woman took a lettuce and, after pulling off the leaves, asked her husband whether he thought it looked better with its leaves on or off. Cambyses said that he preferred it before it was stripped, whereupon his sister replied that he had treated the house of Cyrus just as she had treated the lettuce. He had stripped it bare. Cambyses, in a fury, kicked her, and as she was pregnant at the time, she had a miscarriage and died.
Jesus!
Which version do you prefer, James?
I mean, it's not exactly Sophie's choice, is it? I don't really like either of them.
No, sorry.
Right, okay. So he kicked his... I either just had him murdered because he got bored, or he kicked her to death because of a lettuce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Just don't eat lettuce.
I mean, I quite like
Maybe he
lettuce.
thought it was a precursor to something else. You know, like Cleopatra was on
Salad.
the carpet, she
Yeah.
was stripping the lettuce. Maybe he thought something else was going to happen afterwards.
You said those are the two different accounts. Do you have any idea which is more true?
No idea whatsoever.
They're just consistent in that he had a sister, she died.
He had some sisters, he married them, he killed them.
Right, okay.
But again, there is more. So, whilst meeting a distinguished official, the question of archery again came up.
Oh. Did people not learn their lesson?
And it gets worse. The one guy who's been trying to rein Cambyses in was his loyal cupbearer, an important job, a guy called Prexaspes, and he gets dragged into it. And Prexaspes foolishly admits that Cambyses wasn't the best Persian archer, you know, especially if he's been drinking.
I mean, is anyone good at archery when they're half cut?
Yeah, but do you tell Cambyses?
No, well, no.
I'm gonna guess this goes amazingly well for him.
Cambyses then calls Prexaspes' son to be brought before him.
Please don't really cook him. Oh god, he's got taste for it!
Herodotus?
So it says, without another word, he drew his bow and shot the boy, and then ordered his body to be cut open and the wound examined. When the arrow was found to have pierced the heart, he was delighted, and said with a laugh to the boy's father, "There's proof for you, Prexaspes, that I am sane and the Persians mad. Now tell me if you ever saw anyone else shoot so straight."
So yeah, I'm not mental because I just murdered your son in front of you with accuracy.
Yeah.
God, this guy really has got a bit wrong, hasn't he?
He has.
I'm getting slightly exhausted by words now. Please tell me that's it.
No.
Oh my god.
So he gets annoyed at Croesus,
Okay,
who has to escape the palace dressed as a slave or be put to death.
of course.
I mean, he's going to be pretty old at
so
that.
which one was correct?
He's the guy who Cyrus nearly burnt on a fire.
Oh god, he's still knocking about.
He is, but not for much longer
Oh
if
my
Cambyses
God.
has his way.
So-
And there is still more.
So it says, he also entered the temple of the Kabiri, with no one but the priest is allowed to do, and made fun of the images there. They resemble those of Hephaestus, and are supposed to be his sons, and actually burnt them.
So, is he still in Egypt at this
He's
point?
still in Egypt.
Yeah,
So he's mocking the Greek and the Egyptian gods?
yeah.
He's digging up the dead,
Plucking hairs out.
plucking
because
hairs,
that's what you do.
desecrating temples,
Killing sisters, murdering sons.
stabbing cows.
Eating people.
Why are people still putting up with this?
Because he's the king. I mean, even Herodotus has something to chip in on this.
So Herodotus says, in view of all this, I have no doubt whatever that Cambyses was completely out of his mind.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You don't say.
You don't need to be the father of history to come out of that little nugget, do you?
But also, you know, there's this adage, isn't there, that the best way One way of maintaining power and control is through fear and terror. That's something that we discuss a lot in history, whether it's ancient, modern, whatever.
Seems to be.
This is an extreme.
I'm about to say, there's surely limits before you are just inciting people to rise up against you.
Yeah. Just in case you weren't sure yet, even Herodotus thinks this guy's off his head.
Yeah, okay. So what happens next? I'm terrified to ask.
Well, after all that, you'd be glad to know he dies.
How?
Cambyses dies. So, not
That's why the
Cambyses
people
from
in Egypt are saying,
Not just Egypt, by the sound of it.
So, do you remember what he did to the Apis bull?
Yeah, he stabbed
it in the thigh. So the story goes that Cambyses is getting on his horse, but he's not secured his sword properly.
Okay.
So when he gets on his horse, his sword stabs him in the thigh, in exactly the same place where he stabbed the Apis bull.
Do you not have sheaths or anything like
Well,
that?
he'd probably forgotten that, because
Right,
let's face
okay.
it, he was a bit nutty. So, prophetically, he stabs himself in the thigh in exactly the same place he stabbed the Apis bull. Everyone now starts going, ooh, look, it's the gods getting
bull
revenge.
karma.
And Cambyses dies of his wound.
Okay.
So he's not on the throne very long. It's a relatively short reign.
How
Quite
long?
tumultuous though.
It's only about 8 years.
He was busy,
He's
wasn't
a
he?
busy chap. He reigns for a relatively short period of time, but it's quite a noticeable period of time.
Yeah, I'm surprised. So, if he's dead now, through his sister wives, etc., did he have any children?
We'll get to that next week.
Ah, okay. Okay. Are they mental as well?
Oh, you'll like next week.
Oh, I'm scared.
So then, one thing we should really consider is, why does Cambyses get such a bad reputation?
Well, I think, like I said before, I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that his father is seen as so good, so Cyrus is seen as being so great, that he has to be worse in some way, because that makes Cyrus look even better.
Yeah, every family needs a black sheep.
Yeah, so he's the ultimate black sheep, but a lot of the things that he does in such a short space of time seem a bit farcical and far-fetched,
They're
don't
very, very over-egged.
There's possibly elements of it that are true, but did it all happen exactly as is being said in the sources?
Yeah.
No, and then you've got the Greek and the Egyptian sources that are saying different things,
Well,
so
yeah,
that's
it's
something
interesting
to
'cause
consider.
One thing Herodotus does tell us while he's rambling on about the length of the Egyptian coast is, he gets that wrong as well.
Okay. Of course he does.
He does say that a lot of his information comes from Egyptian priests and the Egyptian priesthood.
And they were not his biggest fans.
Well, whether or not he actually did kill the Apis bull in this way, and we'll look at that in another podcast, whether he really was that bad. The Egyptian priesthood particularly seem to always have had issues with Persian rule.
Why?
Because the Persians were arguably at this point monotheists. They come with a different belief system, a different belief structure. The Egyptian priesthood are desperately holding on to their ancient polytheist religion.
Well, didn't you say they had temples of Hephaestus in there?
They
as well?
did, but again, Greek religion is polytheist,
Yeah.
so as
So
long as
it
you've got a
is-
bunch of gods, they're
It's
fine.
just the idea of one god.
But the Persians, they seem to have real issue with, certainly by Herodotus' time. And obviously Cambyses was the guy who did the most in Egypt, so there's an axe to grind there. So entertaining as the madness of Cambyses is, and he is a world-class loon, you've got to take it with, like anything in this, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
So there you have it, the madness of Cambyses. Started off so well and went so badly.
I honestly feel tired.
In an alarming fashion.
So thank you for listening. We hope this hasn't been too traumatic. We hope it's been useful. Leave us a comment below, and until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.